Welcome to this edition of Team USASAC, a podcast dedicated to explaining and telling the United States Army Security Assistance Command's mission. Of course, to accomplish that mission, it takes many talented folks. That's why today's episode is so very important, because we're going to focus on the wellness of Team USASAC and their employees, something the organization holds in high regard. I'm Tim Hansen with the Public Affairs Office, and joining us via MS Teams to talk with us about the welfare challenges that face our employees, as well as the programs available to combat them, is none other than USASAC's Wellness Coordinator, Keven Hutchinson. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Keven, first off, we're in the month of September, which is Suicide Prevention Month, but really, how relevant of a threat is suicide?
Well, this is something, Tim, that's near and dear to my heart. I have lost friends and colleagues through them taking their lives with suicide, and it's something that I think touches a lot of Americans due to the prevalence in our society. You are more likely to talk with someone during the day that has either contemplated or attempted suicide by about 6 times the rate of someone who is likely to have a heart attack.
Wow. That's super scary, and you think about it. Most people, I guess, probably just don't think about it until it impacts them directly, but it impacts more people than, from what I'm understanding, than most people might think, I guess.
Absolutely. If you take and look at the statistics from both the state health agencies and the CDC, between the ages of 10 and 34, it is the second leading cause of death in our society. So within our workforce, we have a little bit older workforce for the most part on average, and it's the seventh and eighth leading cause in Alabama and Pennsylvania. So it is a pretty significant threat.
It is scary stuff. What can Team USASAC employees really look for to help one another, through something like this? What are some indicators or some things that are out there that can help employees that are maybe dealing with this threat?
Well, some of the biggest indicators that you're going to find is just someone who is off. That's why the initiative for supervisors to see their employees face to face, I believe, has been a good program that USASAC has instituted. They bought all these cameras during the max telework so the supervisors can see them. But you're going to see a marked notice in someone's attitude, their job performance, just in their overall demeanor. It's pretty obvious for the most part. And if you see that, the most important thing that you can do as either a friend or a colleague is apply the ACE method, which is the ask, care, escort. You ask the person what's going on, are you okay? You care enough about them as a human being to try to get them the help that they need, and then you escort them. You don't leave them alone, because as soon as you leave them alone, they may figure, well, there's someone else that doesn't care, and it could expedite their willingness to commit suicide. So escort them to a doctor, escort them to the mental health clinic, the nearest mental health clinic, whatever they need, whatever is closest, that's what you need to do.
That's some really good information, and it sounds we're all in this together is basically what I'm hearing from you as well. We're one team. We got to look out for one another. Somebody may be feeling, maybe not have thoughts of suicide, but maybe feeling down one day, and others may be down another day. And really, we got to be there to pick each other up. Saying all that, what are some other wellness maybe obstacles that our employees could be dealing with?
Well, Tim, some of the biggest things is because of the pandemic obviously,
Hmm.
the stress and anxiety, the lack of connectedness. Now, some people are more introverted, some people are more extroverted, and I believe it probably affects the extroverted people more. But that sense of disconnect from other people, and then there's a lot of people who have either had their jobs terminated, they weren't able to make it to work because of illness of a family member.
Hmm.
So they've lost that income, they've lost friends, they've possibly lost family due to illnesses. That puts a lot of stress and anxiety on these people. And that's some of the leading causes of mental health issues within not only our command and AMC enterprise, but on society as a whole. So those are some things that we really need to look at and address and help people with. And as you said, it's one team, one fight. Everybody has their own issues that they're taking care of, but we need to care about each other enough as human beings to take that extra step to see, hey, can we help this person because they're having it a little bit worse than we are.
Right. There's really, and it's like you said there, or you touched on this a little bit with the new normal, the telework. We've heard a lot of great things, but there's really two sides to that coin. With that separation, really, there can be a big impact on a lot of different people when it comes to their wellness or mental health as well.
Look, everyone's affected by different things in different ways.
Hmm.
Some thrive in a telework environment and some don't. Everybody's just a little bit different. And this has a lot to do with personality and lifestyle and where we are in the moment in our lives.
Hmm.
So I'm convinced that one of the best things that USASAC's done with this situation is their very liberal telework policy.
Hmm.
uh, they've allowed personnel to tailor their work schedules to where they're most comfortable and what fits them and their personal and professional requirements the best. Um, the this in and of itself I think has a significantly positive impact on our personnel's wellness and mental health.
Hmm.
USASAC's also approved several personnel for the civilian fitness program. This program has allowed people to take a little bit of their official work time and take that time for themselves to improve their physical and mental fitness. It's the allowable activities within this program are really well rounded, and it's educational as well as physical fitness activities. So anyone that has an interest in this program, all they've got to do is reach out to their supervisors, and their supervisors can give them the information and get them enrolled.
That's awesome. Now I know another way or a way of dealing with different wellness issues, of course, is knowledge or training. And you have what's called the Resilience Training Series coming up. What can you tell me about that?
Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. I've been advocating for this. We originally started this last fiscal year. The first iteration was so successful, we did a second iteration. We got an even bigger audience that iteration, and then so we did a summer series. And now we're starting it up again on the 13th of October with another series. But what we're doing is we're changing it up a little bit. But just to give you an idea, a quick idea of what resilience training is, just like tradespeople, they've got their go-to tools to get their job done.
Yes.
You need go-to resilience tools for mental strength in the times of need. So these classes are going to help you discover these tools. And as with physical exercise, your brain needs exercise too. So you have to work on these tools mentally to develop them and get them stronger. And that's what we're going to help people do.
That's awesome.
So we're going to start out with an opening panel this series instead of just going right into a class. And we're going to have about 4 different guest speakers throughout the series that's going to run from 13th of October to I think the 9th of February, I
Okay.
believe, is the last one. So
And
Thursdays at 10 o'clock.
yeah, I was just going to say, how can people get involved with that if they want to?
Yeah, Thursdays at 10 o'clock. It's normally a 1 hour long class. I will be sending out some emails as well when the classes are upcoming, because of course there's some weeks that we won't be able to do it due to upcoming holidays
Sure.
such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, Veterans Day.
Hmm. Okay, so basically just keep an eye out in their emails from you, and Thursdays at 10 normally is when they would take place, and that's just like an MS Teams thing, or how does that work?
Correct. It's a MS Teams. If anybody has any questions on it, all they have to do is shoot me an email. Highly encourage people to at least check it out. I was amazed when I took the training to become a trainer, how much I didn't know about resilience and what I could do to improve my situation in both my personal and professional life.
That's fantastic information, Kevin. We are just about out of time, but the last thing I wanted to touch on is open season. What is that?
So, open season is about a month long, give or take. It starts in early November. And what it does, it allows people to shop the many different vendors for the best bang for their buck for health insurance, eye care, dental care, through all of the vendors that are buying for your business. They're all
Mhm.
trying to tell you why their stuff is better. So, unfortunately, this year, because the pandemic hasn't quite ended yet, we're going to be doing another virtual open season, but I will be providing materials that the vendors send me, and they'll be in common areas so people can get them. They're going to be providing podcasts and MS Teams webinars, but I will be putting out more details as they become available.
Kevin, I just want to thank you, sir, for joining us here today. But before I let you go, if you had to bottom line it when it comes to just wellness for the employees, or what you want people or listeners tuning in today, what you want them to take away from this conversation, what would that be?
Uh, the biggest thing that I would say is be aware of those around you and have enough empathy for your fellow man and woman to care what happens to them. That's my biggest takeaway, and that's based on personal experience with suicide loss. The people you least expect are sometimes the people we lose. So just we're all a team, we're all a family here at USASAC. We all need to care about each other and put our personal differences aside.
Well said, sir. Thank you again for joining us today. We appreciate you giving our listeners an inside look at the challenges our employees face, but even more importantly, the indicators for all our employees to look out for, as well as the help that's available for anyone struggling with their wellness. Really, really powerful stuff. And we're all in this together. You need to watch out for one another when dealing with the overall wellness of the organization, because we are all Team USASAC. So again, thank you for joining us. And I want to go ahead and thank all of you out there that tuned in to Team USASAC. As always, if you want to learn more about the United States Army Security Assistance Command, just visit our website at www.army.mil/USASAC. You can find the link in the description of this podcast. Until the next time, for Team USASAC, I'm Tim Hansen. Thank you for listening.